Oh my God.
What's up, guys? Boy, Benny. The only way to really do this job is to be a consummate optimist, glass half full, silver linings kind of guy, where you are looking for the best part of every news cycle to just give you hope, a branch to like hang on to as you swing through this Biden news cycle that is fraught with dark and depressing news from all fronts. Over the last 3.5 years, there's been literally nothing good that has happened in this nation. And they're trying to put my boy in prison. It's my boy. They're trying to put in jail. My boy. So what do you do about something like that? What do you do about the Marxists who are trying to destroy your nation through unlimited illegal immigration, through the destruction of law and order, through the persecution and locking up of their political opponents? Well, you kick their asses politically, and you create movements that show them that they are not the majority, because they're not the majority. People don't want to live like that. People don't want to live under Fauci-esque Joe Biden tyranny. They don't want it. It's not popular. It's actually the least popular thing. Joe Biden, go walk through any neighborhood in America, except for the nursing homes, maybe, and you'll find that Joe Biden is the least popular person on any street, on any block, anywhere. I challenge you. And actually, Joe Biden's brand of politics is incredibly unpopular globally, and that's been proven in Argentina's election, in El Salvador with incredible populist, freedom-minded leaders. The projections in Canada show that the Conservatives are going to take Parliament by hundreds of seats, that Justin Trudeau will be reduced to the 4th or 5th most popular party, right? He will be out of power. His party, his Canadian Liberals, will be out of power for the rest of his life, which hopefully he spends with his family down in Cuba on some beach somewhere. His real family, the Castros. The point I'm trying to make here is that there is hope to be seen. And all you have to do is look across the Atlantic to old country and old countries of Europe to find that hope, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. Europe's Trump moment has arrived. Dude, this image goes hard. This image goes hard. Print this off, put it up in the studio. Check it out. The far-right surges. This week's European Parliament election will reorder the continent's political landscape. Notice that they call them far-right. I just want to begin by saying they never call Joe Biden far-left. Joe Biden is a far-left extremist radical and has zero moderate positions on anything. Donald Trump, by every measure, is the moderate and independent in the race. Yet Donald Trump is described as a far-right extremist, and Joe Biden is described as just like an independent, right? Or like a moderate, like a genteel old man. It's amazing, like card trick, parlor game that they play with words. They never describe far-left people as far-left. Even when they're getting their asses kicked far left out of politics. Nightmare for EU titans as Macron and Scholz of Germany and France, respectively, are humiliated in European elections that see huge swing towards right-wing populists, with Le Pen and ADF and Italy's Meloni celebrating victory. The results last night were absolutely devastating. Holy smokes. Look at this. Dark is right-wing populist, swing to the right, center-right, all these other nations. And who knows what the other means exactly. Let's look to the results here, because the election was just in the last couple of hours. The world's second largest democratic exercise is complete, and the results are not pretty for the so-called leaders of Europe. These would be called the far-left World Economic Forum extremists of Europe. The parties of Emmanuel Macron and Olaf Scholz, who are at the helm of the EU's two largest, most powerful countries, suffered major defeats to right-wing, there it is again, right-wing, how about just calling them nationalists or populist? I would take that. And conservative groups. Such a defeat unquestioningly undermines their rule at home, so much so that the French president last night called a snap election in a move resembling a bloodied boxer on the ropes preparing to throw a final desperate punch before suffering a knockout blow. Meanwhile, in Germany, Scholz's rivals declared the election results a disaster for the chancellor's government, which, since coming to power in 2019, has presided over a litany of crises. Scholz's ruling Social Democrats recorded their worst post-World War II result in a nationwide vote with 13%, behind the surging populist party, AfD, and conservative Christian center-right alliance. Over the last 5 years, the EU has been shaken by the coronavirus pandemic, economic slump, energy crisis fueled by Russia, war with Ukraine, issues that populist candidates leverage to great effect. European centrist wait a second, they didn't put in like unlimited immigration in there. Immigration that destroys the culture of Europe and destroys nations and causes a zero-trust society. Europe's centrist elements were rewarded this week and remain the de facto power brokers in the continent, having increased their overall share of the seats in European Parliament. But the surge by right-wing populist parties will make it much harder for the Assembly to approve legislation for issues ranging from climate change to agriculture policy to immigration. Yeah, there it is, finally mentioned. There we go. You can see how the economies are collapsing. This is really quite fascinating. Like series of the main takeaways after far right rocks European politics, sparking snap election in France. European elections result by country. You can see here. Well, there's no key, so great job, AP. Political earthquake in France. Voters in France will return to the polls in just 3 weeks after Macron dissolved parliament and called a snap national election. Le Pen's anti-immigration nationalist party was estimated to get around 31 to 32% of the vote. Meanwhile, National Rally win was expected at a scale of victory to surprise, more than doubling the share of Macron's resistance party, which is projected to be around 15%. It would come as clear by mid-June whether a weakened Macron will be forced to work with a far-right government in an uncomfortable cohabitation. Uh-oh. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Greens and liberals take a hit. Number one loser last night was Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg. The, like, how dare you, screaming, sociopath, like, shut down all of our energy, shut down all of our nuclear energy. Like, Europe was the leader in nuclear energy, and they shut all those down to be totally and completely dependent on Russian oil, and then Russia cuts off all their oil, or the U.S. blows up the Nord Stream pipeline, and now they have no energy. Far against trigger elections in France, reckoning in Europe. Oh, hell yeah, a reckoning in Europe. You love to hear it. Why it matters. Macron stunned Europe last night by announcing that he would hold new legislative elections later this month. Wow. The extraordinary gamble came moments after the European Parliament exit polls pointed to a dominant showing by Marine Le Pen, National Party. I guess the way that it works here and how this was explained to me was because he lost so badly in these EU elections, then there's no like faith in his leadership at home in France. And so then he has to call an immediate election to try and show, like, gauge, like, where the actual country is, and to try and, like, stop the bleeding. Because the longer he goes, this is how, like, the parliamentary system works. There aren't any set dates. There are set parameters for, like, dates that you must call elections, like, within 5 years, right? So, like, Justin Trudeau, it becomes more illegitimate by the day because everybody knows that he's doomed, but he's clinging on to power. So that's one way to do it, like push it to its outer limits, the elections. Another way to do it would be to like call an election really, really quickly to try and not let political parties organize against you, okay? So that's what they're doing in France. Ooh, baby. But it was not pretty anywhere. Globalists failing everywhere. Look at this. This is a map of the EU election results in France tonight. Brown is the far-right parties. Look at that. Would you look at that? Whoa. Looks like the San Francisco poop map. Jeez. Liberals are destroyed in Europe. The Prime Minister of Belgium announces his resignation. People are resigning. Belgium's globalist Prime Minister, Alex de Croo, resigns after losing to right-wing parties in the EU election. Europe is finally waking up. These are the kind of people that like banned like banned farming, right? They like stopped their farmers from farming. France, European Parliament elections. As per today, the right-wing Rassemblement National is expected to achieve its best result nationwide election in history. There we go. Boom. And in the parliamentary system, that is just a monster landslide. Saying far right won the European election. This is far right, then yeah, you can call me far right. End illegal immigration, throw criminals in jail, support free speech, don't sexualize kids, prioritize safety, support peace, be patriotic, be strong, celebrate family and having kids, preserve national identity, put your country first, ban ESG, build, and so on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, got it. Liberal Belgian Prime Minister crying and weeping after his resignation. Absolutely got their asses kicked. The globalists got their asses kicked. European voters are kicking out left-wingers all across the nation. And now this creepy little man in France is on the chopping block. Dominating the European Union, elections in Germany, France, and the Netherlands, and other countries. Parties, here we go. Party beat Macron's party in the EU election. Look at that, man. Dude, 2019, 2004, 2024. Look at the red. Look at how much bigger of a percentage that it got. Biggest loser is Klaus Schwab and Greta Thunberg. That's a matter of fact. Yeah. Giorgia Meloni, also in Italy, very popular leader and a populist leader. Some disagree with some of her policies. You know, nobody's a superhero. We'll take what we can get. We'll take the broader overall movements right here. Point to a Trump victory, right? These are the trends. The trends point to this. The setup is like perfect. It's just like 2016. 2016, you had Brexit, right, where England left the European Union. You had these like populist movements all around the countries, all around the world, and then you get Trump, and now we're having like that, but on steroids. And it's really, really, really exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for all of it. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay based to Europe. See ya.